Welcome to this edition of Lewisville Update. Today we are visiting beautiful historic Old Town Lewisville with all the history and charm from the 1880s and all the exciting and enjoyable restaurants and boutique stores you can visit today. But what's really exciting is what's coming soon to Old Town Lewisville. And to help me explore some of those projects we're going to visit today, I have with me Economic Development Director Marichelle Samples. Marichelle, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So how long have you been with Lewisville?
So I joined the city back in January of this year. I spent 10 years in the city attorney's office for the city of Dallas, negotiating economic development agreements, as well as a slew of other things.
Well, we are glad to have you here, and it's an exciting time to be in Lewisville. So people know about Old Town having the history, and it does. Buildings from the 1880s, and even before that, this was the original commercial center. But what's really exciting is what's happening now. And we're going to talk about some of those new projects, and we're going to start with the one right over our shoulder at the corner of Main and Mill. Now we're here at the corner of Main and Mill Streets, right in the center of the Old Town District, and it's a very historic intersection for Lewisville. In fact, the city's first traffic light was right here at this corner, but it was manually operated. So it goes back a long time. I want to talk about what's next. Tell me about this building right across the corner.
Main and Mill Lofts is a $35 million mixed-use project located here at the southeast corner of Main and Mill Street. This 6-story vertical mixed-use development will house 203 luxury loft-style apartments and approximately 6,500 square feet of retail and restaurant space on the ground floor facing Mill and Main Street.
Now, Marichelle, tell me why in a revitalization project such as Old Town, it's important to start with residential first.
Because we first need heads on beds, and then we can support our commercial development here in Old Town.
So the businesses need customers.
Of course.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What about parking, especially public parking?
So this project will include a 2-level parking garage with 175 public parking spots here in Old Town.
And that's a parking garage in each of the buildings.
That's correct.
Outstanding, outstanding. Now, other than bringing people to the businesses, what other benefits does this kind of project bring?
So this project will also generate funds annually to Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Number 1, which will provide more funds to dedicate to projects here in Old Town.
So this particular location has been in continuous use for more than 130 years. Way back in about 1890, a Dutch immigrant named C.M. Jacobson built a 2-story warehouse-style business called Jacobson's Hardware. And he ran that for almost 30 years. At one point, he hired a man named J.E. Whitley to work for him, and eventually, Whitley bought the store from him and operated it all the way till 1942. When he bought the 2-story Smith building down Main Street and moved his business, and he sold the old Jacobson building to the Kirkpatrick family. They tore down that 2-story building. They built Kirkpatrick Motors that opened in 1942. Through the years, it changed names a few times, and it wound up being K&W Automotive. Up until about 2010, when the business closed. Unfortunately, the building was in poor repair when the city later bought it and demolished the building because of safety concerns. But now it's made way for this beautiful new project, bringing new people and new excitement to Old Town. But it's important to know that sometimes you can take an old building, and if it's in good shape and well maintained, you can give it brand new life. And that's what happened here at the northeast corner with the old Huffines building. So Marichelle, tell me about what's happened here in the Huffines building.
Sparrow on Main was completed June of this year, and in just a short time, it's already made its mark in Old Town.
I've seen a lot of events in this building. What's been going on there?
Sparrow has hosted community events for the Lewisville Area Chamber of Commerce.
And I think that Main and Mill Association held their shared table event here, didn't they?
Yep, they did.
Wow, that was a great time. So a very busy spot, and they have the retail store.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so this building was constructed in 1932. J.L. Huffines Sr. brought Lewisville its first automotive dealership, actually in 1927, in the building that's now Prairie House Restaurant. And in 1932, he had outgrown that space. So he flipped buildings with James DeGan. This corner was the DeGan livery stable and feed mill. Once they flipped, Huffines tore down the livery stable and built the structure that we so much cherish today. So there's more housing projects going on in Old Town. I know there's one that's under construction now, just down the road on Mill Street near the elementary school. That's where we're gonna go next. So let's head down Mill Street. So if rooftops bring customers and residential projects are the key to a successful redevelopment, then a project like this next one is very important and very exciting. We're at the northwest corner of Mill Street and Purnell. Marichelle, tell us about this project.
So Mill at Old Town is well underway, as you can see. It's a $30 million multifamily project. It will be 4 stories. It'll be 213 units with a pocket park.
213 units, and looks like it'd be a great place to live with Mill Street Elementary on one side, Old Town down the road.
Exactly, it's a perfect location.
Now I remember before this started, it was the RU building materials.
Yes, it was. So the city entered into an economic development agreement with the RU to ensure that they would stay here in Lewisville as part of their relocation and expansion. In 2019, the RU moved to their new location at Maria Court in Valley Ridge.
So we worked with an existing business that was valuable, helped them find a new, better location still in Lewisville, and made way for this great project.
Exactly.
Everybody wins.
Win-win.
Outstanding. Now, before RU, this was the location of Simsmore Lumber Yard for about 50 years. So it's been a lumber yard for a long, long time, and now they're building places for people to have homes, families, lives, right here in historic Old Town Lewisville. There is another multifamily project currently under construction that's very close to the Old Town train station. It's called Whitlow. It doesn't have the history of this site, but it has a lot of opportunity for people to build families and lives here in historic Old Town Lewisville. So let's go down there. So we're now at the location of the most recent multifamily project to start construction here on College Street near the train station, the Whitlow project. Tell us about this one.
So the Whitlow project is a 4-story, 420-unit luxury mid-rise apartment community with about 13,600 square feet of retail-ready space on the ground floor facing College. It is scheduled to be completed by late 2024.
Now, retail ready means it might not be retail space at first, but it can be later when there's customers.
Exactly, it just provides more flexibility.
So 400 units, and it's right by the train station. Was that a big appeal?
Yes, of course. Being close to the train station is a very important factor for the residents.
All right, so a new market for Lewisville. That's great. And if you add them all up, that's almost 1,000 new rooftops coming to Old Town Lewisville over the next couple of years. I'm sure the retailers and restaurants have to be loving that.
Oh, they will. And I forgot to also mention that this project will include a minimum investment of $85 million.
$85 million. You have to win the lottery for me to be able to afford that.
Yes, me too.
I'll give it a shot. And located here where we are next to the train station, we're less than a mile away from the Old Town Center. So even though it might not look like Old Town right away, it is part of the district. It has that feel, that ambiance.
It does.
Great, what a wonderful appeal. Well, let's head back into the core. So now we're back in the Old Town core, and we're at the northeast corner of Main and Charles Streets. Now, people who have been around Lewisville for a while are going to recognize this as the location of the former Lewisville State Bank building that was constructed in 1955. The city bought it as part of the Wayne Ferguson Plaza project, and the building was demolished in 2020. But tell us about the exciting new project that's coming to this corner, Marichelle.
So Decon Main is a 3-story commercial development located at northeast corner of Main Street and Charles Street. It was formerly owned city-owned property, and in 2017, redevelopment was planned. The developer will invest a minimum of $5 million into this 20,000 square foot building. It's a very exciting commercial development for Old Town and will feature retail and restaurant space on the ground floor, office space on the second floor. The 3rd floor will overlook Wayne Ferguson Plaza. It will include publicly accessible restrooms separate from those required on the main building.
So during events and concerts, people could sit on the 3rd floor of this building and watch the activities down in the plaza.
Exactly.
So what is the timeline for this project?
So the project is currently underway. They're about to begin construction again, and the completion is anticipated to occur in 2023 or 2024.
Way too early to know what restaurants will be there, right?
We're surely working on it.
I might have a few requests for you. We'll talk offline.
So do I.
Okay. Well, Marichelle, thank you for taking us around Old Town and showing us all these exciting projects.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for Old Town. And I hope you're excited too as you watch Old Town become a thriving entertainment and residential district. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Lewisville Update. And come back and join us again here on City Cable LVTV.